Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about how to craft a good starter mage ring. Mage rings are much easier to craft than attack build rings. The main reason for this is you can actually pinpoint all the rolls that you want. You can pinpoint the flat spell damage rolls, like flat damage added to spells. So with gems, so it's much easier to pinpoint and to craft a mage ring than it is to craft an attack build ring. So we're gonna learn today how to do this as a starter build. Like you're starting out in the game and you just want to get a good mage ring. You want to get started. It's a new season. It's something like that. You don't have many mats and you're just starting out, right? So keep in mind. Okay, I've had this a lot in the comments recently. This is an offline save file where I test I test the game's mechanics and yes, I have an unlimited amount of gold, affinity, all of that. My weapon is 3000 damage. This is just for testing, guys. I do not play this. I do not play in offline mode. I only test things. So, all what I'm saying here can easily translate to online mode where I play all my playtime is really. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and craft this ring. So when you're looking for a ring, if you have a pretty good ring that drops, if you have a pretty good ring that drops, you can always try to like use one material and try to get a good roll out of it, right? So I'm just gonna use entropy orbs here just to simulate what it would be if a ring dropped in an actual like expedition. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get something okay. I'm gonna try and get something okay here. So this is my offline save file, guys. This is not where I play the game. I just use this because I can create any item I want. Okay, so let's take this one for example. Let's take this one. This is just a ring I got from the vendor here, just for the purpose of showing how to craft it. So if you find this one in the wild, fire damage added to spells, critical damage. These are two good stats. You could immediately just use one Ohm's Echo and try to get something good. As long as you don't roll off the fire damage and the critical damage, everything else is good, right? Here you have sacred damage at now. You have sacred damage. So if you have sacred damage spells, that this could be good. Or let's say this ring like this drops in an expedition. You have fire, sacred, and crit, and you're like, oh, this could be good. This could replace my ring I have currently. Um, but it needs another good stat. You just use one Ohm's Echo. Here we go. It removed the wrong thing. It removed the crit damage. So you would go ahead and sell this one, or you could like continue since it got occult damage. Anyways, you know what I mean. If you get two or three good stats, you can just use one Ohm's Echo. If the ring removes the stat you wanted to keep, just sell it back to Mojave. All right. So this is one way, finding a already okay ring and just using like one material or two to try and get something good out of it. Um, but the best way I think is going to be this way. It uses a little bit more, but you can really pinpoint what you want. You can really pinpoint what you want. So I would start going down to two prefixes. You want to go down to two prefixes. And for this, you will want to use wolcendb.arison.org. Always refer to this, guys. wolcendb.arison.org. So you go in loot, you go in accessories, you go into rings, and you choose your ring. The best ring to get is the steel ring because it has 10 to 30% critical damage. This is very big. If you're crafting, you should probably always craft these. Um, well, if you can, right? If you have another ring with really good stats, like keep that one for sure. But keep in mind that 10 to 30% critical damage is a lot of damage. So right now, the one I have in game right now is a Bloodstar ring, so I will use this one for now. You enter your item level that you have. So the one I have in game currently is item level 85. Uh, I would suggest always going for 163 items or over when you're at end game. These have the highest possibility of the highest rolls, 163 and up. The one I have in game currently is 85, so I'm gonna just choose 85. So this shows all the possible rolls you can get. If I use a fire gem, what can I get? As if I use a prefix, I have a 50% chance, maximum health or fire damage added to spells. So fire, and then you have which one is this? Ice. The only prefix you can get is frost damage added to spells. So it is super easy to get frost damage added to spells if you only have a prefix, right? And then you have lightning. Lightning has a 50% chance as well. So, guys, I'm telling you, crafting mage rings, starter mage rings is super easy. Look, I will go down to two prefixes, okay? So you use abyssal tears. Please refer to my other videos about crafting, like the crafting basics, explain all the materials, how they work. But basically, abyssal tear will remove one affix. Okay, so maximum health is a prefix, sacred damage is a suffix. I want to change this again. Maximum health. Okay, if you're now down to one, if you are now down to one prefix, you could use a fire gem because usually, so my mage build uses uh, elemental damage, fire damage, and as a suffix. So even if you try and get the fire damage added to spells with this, you might get fire damage on your suffix, or you might get elemental damage on your suffix as well. So it is a good thing to use. If we get a prefix, then it's even better. So we add it. We got fire damage added to spells. Now we have two prefixes. So because we already had maximum health, this fire gem, if the Arabian tier choose to roll a prefix, could only give us fire damage to spells. That was the only possible roll if this one chose to roll a prefix. So when you use an Arabian tier and you have a lot of and you have a prefix and a suffix open, this will choose. Okay, first of all, will I roll a prefix or a suffix? And then in this case, it chose a prefix. Okay, prefix. What can this gem give me as a prefix? It can give me maximum health. Oh, I already have that here. I will go for fire damage since it's the only other roll I can have here. Yeah, so basically we were very lucky with this. Well, very lucky. It doesn't require much luck. And what we want here now is we want to use, if you already have one and you don't have Frost, Frost can only roll damage to spells as a prefix. So you want to use a Frost gem. You want to use one Frost gem. And then use an Ohm's Echo. This will take one affix and reroll it into something else. So you have a 50% chance again to get that Frost damage to spell instead of maximum health. And we got it. So now we have two suffixes open. Suffixes, if we go on Wolcen DB, depending on what you want on your ring, you have the choice. The easy way is using Alexandrite. You can get critical damage and you can get spell crit chance. These are two good stats. Very easy to get. So if I use two Alexandrites, I will get critical damage and spell crit chance. Of course, you could go for something else if you want to be more risky. You could go for transfer time. You could go for stuff like elemental damage here, or like fire damage. Whatever you choose. But if you want to play it very safe and have your starter mage ring, go for critical damage and spell crit chance. That's my recommendation. It's very easy to get. So for your first ring, you put in one Alexandrite, and then you add. You can only get a suffix because a rare item has two prefixes and two suffixes. Critical damage, and here we add another one, and we will get spell critical chance score. It is guarantee. Spell critical chance score. So there you have it. And then you have your yellow item with four good stats. Mage rings are super easy to craft. Compared to attack rings, you cannot pinpoint attack damage added damage added to attacks with gems. So that is why it's much harder. You would go here increase item rarity.
Do you have any
Go
delicate
increase item rarity.
materials for the
It costs a
harvesting
bit,
tent
and then
too?
it will give you your legendary version of this ring, which would has a possibility to roll very well as well. So you would start project, and then if you just want to do this very fast, you can refer to my you can refer to my method of farming crafting materials. You get these memories echo.
What do you want?
You just do these memory echo very fast. This will give you productivity.
Whoop-de-doo! You
Okay,
did it. Here's your fee.
here we go. So it rolled occult element chance and frost damage added to attacks. So this is the part where RNG is much more involved. It might give you something good. It might give you something you don't want. So if you already, so this might be your first ring, okay? This is your first one. It costed almost nothing to get, and you have 4 good stats. So if you make another one of these, you make a complete other one. You already have one here. So this is your other one, uh, and then you put it again in the black market, and it rolls again something you don't want. Then you can use, okay, I will try my luck. I will try my luck. I will use one Greater Ohm's Echo, and like I have Fire and Frost damage added to spells. I am missing Lightning to spells, so I will put a Lightning Gem in. I will use one Greater Ohm's Echo, legendary material. Try to get that lightning damage added to spells, and we did not get it. It rolled something else. So from here on out, like it's over. Don't spend any more mats unless you have a lot. But this method is purely for beginners, like when you're starting out and you don't have a lot. Um, so basically, the method, you take your yellow ring, put it down to 2 prefixes, and then you pinpoint what rolls you want with your gems, with your fire, lightning, and frost gems, since these are the only flat damage rolls that you can get on rings. So you can do the same for amulets, although amulets can only get occult rolls, so sacred aether and shadow. Yeah, sacred aether and shadow. So 2 prefixes, you use Ohm's Echo to reroll with gems to get your 2 flat dispels, and then you use Alexandrites to fill in the suffixes spots. You will always get crit damage and always get crit chance score. And after that, you put it in the black market to increase item rarity, and then you hope that you get something good. If you don't get something good, you use an Ohm's Echo with your missing gem, and then you hope that you get something even better. Alright guys, that is all for now. Thank you so much for watching.